I don't know when my grandfather on my mother's side came, but they were from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I know that my great-grandmother was 16 when she crossed the Atlantic with her sister, and her sister had a 6-week-old baby
Mm-hmm.
that got diphtheria on the ship, and they had to bury him at sea.
Mm-hmm.
But her sister's husband came over before she did, and then he sent for them, and her parents didn't want her to travel by herself, so then my grandmother came over.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she didn't ever go back to Germany, so she didn't see her parents again.
What-
This is Grandma Etbauer.
Oh, okay.
And where in Germany did they start from? Do you remember?
I know my sister took my mother to New York, and then she went all the way around the world. She ended up going all the way around the world.
Your mother?
But when she was with my sister Kay in Germany, they were standing on the street corner, and of course they were speaking German. All the people were speaking German, and she said to my sister, isn't it funny that they're not speaking English? Isn't it too bad that they can't speak English? I got kind of a kick out of that, being in another country.
Uh-huh.
And then she came over, and I know she was on Ellis Island for 3 months or
Really?
a long time before they'd let her pass.
Hmm.
And I don't know when they came to South Dakota, if she married Grandpa Etbauer or not, but I know Grandpa Etbauer couldn't speak English,
Mm-hmm.
and they settled by Elm Creek, and that is, it's on the other side of Chamberlain,
Uh-huh.
if you know where Chamberlain is. And they had a nice farm
Mm-hmm.
there.
Was this homesteading?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And she had, she brought with her all these fine linens. Her sheets were all linen, and she had linen tablecloths
My
and
gosh.
all this fine linen that we love so much today. And her oldest son got diphtheria, and of course, having her sister lose her baby with diphtheria, she was very she was really upset about it, and she had this big washer kettle on the stove with boiling water on, and the leg came out from under their stove, and she had her oldest son close to the stove, and it scalded him to death.
Oh my.
So I think she had 6 children after that.
This is your grandmother.
My great-grandmother.
Oh, your great grandmother. Okay.
Now, what's the date of this approximately?
Well, I suppose it would be in the 1800s,
Uh-huh.
1880s, 1870s. No, because she was 92 when she died,
Mm-hmm.
and she was a little thing, and she was so proper. I know when she'd eat her bread, she'd always turn it around, and then this finger would always be up. But she always wore an apron, and then when somebody'd knock on the door, she'd pull her apron up so that her apron didn't ever look dirty. She was quite a classy little lady.
So.
Oh, she lived in Chicago, and I have a pot from the Chicago fire that she rescued and brought.
Mm-hmm.
What year?
And then she lived with my grandmother and my Uncle Bill
Mhm.
until she died.
Mhm.
But she had said the rosary so many times that she'd lay there and she'd say it on her fingers,
Mm-hmm.
and her lips would be moving when she was, when she got got a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to go. I thought the world of her, but as she got older, I'm sure she had Alzheimer's or she had old people's disease.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd ask me, "What grade are you in school?" And I'd tell her, and then 5 seconds later, "What grade are you in school?"
Mm-hmm.
But my grandmother was very good to her. Took good care of her.
Uh-huh.
So where that farm was in, what did you say?
That was
Elm Creek?
down by Elm Creek. Yeah.
And is there anything left of that farm?
Yeah.
now?
Bill Etbauer, her son, married Margaret something. I don't remember her name, her last name. And they had 2 sons.
Mm-hmm.
And the son was older than I am now, so I'm sure he's dead. But his family still lives on that
Oh my
farm.
gosh.
They've updated it, and,
Wow.
A little bit, huh?
yeah, made the house nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what the original house was built out of?
Oh, I'm sure they had a sod house at
Really?
first.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And then as they got older
Uh-huh.
and
Do you know why they decided to come out there, out to South Dakota? Or?
well, it was because of the land.
Mhm.
They homesteaded on that.
Mm-hmm.
On that land. I suppose they grew corn and they had big gardens because my grandmother always processed. Up above the cupboards I have a salt jar.
Mm.
I had a couple. I had about 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids Lori has taken some. But that's what they would put their meat in and put salt on it to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
That was one way of processing foods.
Yeah.
And then she would they'd can a lot of their meat.
Mm-hmm.
And of course pheasants were real thick then.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of game around.
Yeah.
So I suppose they ate a lot of game.
I wonder